And I think this series of events is so fascinating.
Well, I think the thing we look at there is God's more concerned with, he's more concerned with us than he is with our circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like you said, those things that God, if you look behind the scenes, he's already working. And I love this statement because Brother Gerald Doggett, Bishop Gerald Doggett shared this, and it's impacted me so much. And he said simply this. He said, "This is a day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it." He said, listen to that. He said, psychics, they predict your future. But you see, the thing is, he's not a psychic. He's not predicting your future. He is creating your future.
Okay.
So when he speaks a word to you, he's not telling you, "Oh, I think this is what's going to happen." He is already there and creating it. And like you said, those divine appointments, like this person met this person, and just to think out of Psalms 139 that he said before, you were even formed out of your mother's womb.
Yeah.
That he has ordained your days. So on this October 20, whatever it is, 23rd, 24th. All right, John, put a phone call and said, "Steve, let's get together today."
Yeah.
I didn't know it, but you didn't know it. Let's do it.
And it's beautiful how these things cycle. I mean, I'm so fascinated by that.
Yeah.
And I love people. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And at this point in my life, about all I'm good for is talking. Okay. I try to do some other manual labor, but I'm not as good at it as I used to be. I'm a little bit of a sissy, but I think of how the people and how I look and see the miracles that God has done and how he works along in those things. All right. We covered some important stuff. I'm not saying we haven't. Marriage, church, the Lord, prayer, all that stuff's good. Let's talk about something else.
Talk to me.
Let's talk about money. Okay. Now, you drive a nice vehicle. I'd say you keep your power bill turned. You keep your power paid. Probably pretty much on your phone bill, groceries, things like that. I mean, what are some keys you could give people out there? And people can get born again and still die broke.
Yes, sir.
People be millionaires and die broke.
Yes, sir.
I've known millionaires broke. So what are some keys you could give to people out there about their finances?
I think the first thing is put God first. In tithing, there are three ways to give. Tithing, which is 10%, and then the second way is giving in offerings, which is above the 10%, like missions and things like that. This church just built a church in Africa, and man, I can't wait to do another one. And we're looking, maybe, I don't know, I'm talking out of my head right now, but we've got some missionaries in Romania that maybe we could build a church over there for. But this is we can't outgive God.
Okay, but I'm with you.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm with you on that. But I've known people that tithed,
right,
gave in the offering. It still seems like they couldn't keep the power bill turned on. And I know God can do miracles. I'm not saying that, but they still would buy a car they couldn't pay for. They still would have 5 credit cards that they couldn't keep the pay. I mean, there's got to be some things, and I know we can cast the devil out of people, okay, but we can't cast wisdom into them.
No, can't cast stupid out.
So how do we? So when we look at finances,
this is again my what I'm doing here, and as our church too, we are doing everything. Again, next one of the giving is alms and poor.
Right.
But the thing is, I try to do is live within a budget, and that's the problem. A lot of people, like you said, want to get. Oh, I had a lady look at me one time. She said, "Pastor, I'm fixing to get a new car." I said, "Well, that's awesome. What's going on?" She said, "I'm fixing to give mine away." And a friend of mine did that, and God gave her a car. I said, "Did God tell you that?" She looked at me and says, well, no, but it happened. I said, "Sweetheart, you're fixing to walk." Because we don't,
right.
It's not on somebody else's miracle.
Right.
It's on what the revelation that God gave me. Now, I would say I tried my best to stick by Dave Ramsey's, have the snowball effect. And I do that. We've done it here.
Right.
Right before COVID, we paid off this building. And we didn't know COVID was coming, but God spoke to our hearts. And it was over $1 million building. We're debt free.
Yeah.
And because again, our leadership, our people, myself, our families, to have that emergency fund. A lot of people right now, they're living off credit cards. Right. Have you seen the rates on some of those credit cards?
Yeah.
And 25 years to pay this off if you want to pay a minimum payment. But I think the thing is we have to use wisdom and find principles to help you save, put first God, and then save. People think if I do like a Dave Ramsey, then I can't have fun. No, you can't. Building that budget, you're putting in there for yourself too.
Yeah.
for your bills. Then you pay your bills, pay that, and save. I know it's a cuss
Right.
word, but people don't. I got it. It's burning a hole in my pocket. Well, hello, But,
Well, I've told my kids, and if you put back, and we set amounts out of your payday to
Yeah.
put back, I said, blow the rest of it, whatever you want to, but put this back and do that, and then live within the means of knowing and a pencil and paper won't lie.